Hi folks, Alex Klingelhoeffer here from Exencial Wealth Advisors. It's 6:35 here in the middle part of the country on Tuesday. It's March 23rd, 2021. Here's your morning jog of headlines from around the economic world. I wanted to start off here in the U.S. We talked yesterday about the AstraZeneca vaccine having some good trial data. Well, a little bit of a setback here today. The Data Safety Monitoring Board, that's the independent third-party oversight board that looks at trial data of U.S. drug companies, says there are some inconsistencies in the data. The data may be outdated, and they're working with AstraZeneca to resolve those issues. Now, remember, this is a vaccine that's been a little bit hotly contested. The EU stopped using it for about a week last week. We will see if AstraZeneca gets their act together, quite frankly, and starts to have some data that's reliable, usable, and we can use this vaccine to help folks not get COVID. That's important. Germany is going to go into another lockdown here. They're extending it over Easter for another few days. What's called a hard lockdown there in Germany means, hey, you really can't leave your house or do much else over the Easter holiday. That's going to extend till April 5th. Of course, we've talked about this big economic story. U.S. doing really well, Europe not doing well. Germany, of course, one of the biggest economies in Europe, and they're locking down again. It's now getting into Q2. It's going on into the early part of the summer, this big bifurcation between the U.S. economy and the European economy. We haven't seen it showing up in the data yet. We will see it show up in the data. It will show up. It's just a matter of time till we see those big differences between the U.S. being largely open, quite frankly now, largely done with COVID, and Europe still dealing with different strains, different lockdowns, and not being as successful vaccinating their population. The price of oil is down. WTI went below. Of course, that's West Texas Intermediate, the benchmark here used in the U.S., priced for delivery in Cushing, Oklahoma, just down the road. It is down back below $60. Brent, the international price, around 62 here this morning. That's down from highs of around 65 and 70 respectively earlier this month, as energy traders are seeing a little bit of softness in the physical market. Again, a lot of that is the European demand situation being a little bit lower. Yesterday, we talked about U.S. consumption of gas actually being back to pre-COVID levels, which is incredible. A lot of this price action on European demand fears. We've got a couple of speakers here today. Both Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell are going to be speaking with Congress today. Janet Yellen said yesterday she expects to see full employment by the end of the year, or at least that is a possibility. That would be a very encouraging turnaround. Of course, got a stimulus package from President Biden. It's going to be another $3 or $4 trillion. It's a huge stimulus deal. That would put folks back to work and put a lot of debt on the U.S. balance sheet. Another $3 or $4 trillion. We will see how that turns out. I think it will be a lot lower once it gets through Congress. And last, on the deal book front, Microsoft buying Discord, right? Started Discord. Hey, let's chat about something. Let's arrange a party. Well, Microsoft is thinking about buying the company for about $10 billion. Of course, remember Microsoft that bought LinkedIn a few years ago. Really, of course, they're one of the big video game makers with Xbox. It's a big part of their revenue stream. Discord plays into that whole streaming culture. They buy it. How do they integrate it? Will there be some execution issues? We'll wait and see. But hey, Discord is looking to sell. Microsoft's a natural buyer. We're one of the few companies with a checkbook that can take a $10 billion purchase and not really sweat it all that much. That's what I have here for this morning. If you want some additional information throughout the day, feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's OKC CFA CFP. Until then, I'm out.